The Galactic Council had grown too comfortable. Too vast, too powerful, too unquestioned. Among their many assumptions, one had become doctrine. Humans were chaotic, short-sighted, and ultimately containable. Their rapid expansion, disruptive influence, and refusal to submit to standardized galactic law were considered a threat to order. The solution was never debated, only scheduled. A device was chosen. It was elegant by design, brutal in function. A gravity core imploder, veiled under shielding, was selected for deployment to Earth's upper orbit. It would not ignite the atmosphere or fracture the crust. It would simply destabilize Earth's satellites, neutralize military presence, and disrupt communication. Just enough to send a message. Earth, for all its potential, was still beneath the Council's will. Delivery was swift and silent. No war declaration. No negotiation. The device moved under cloaking fields across the outer ring, passed Martian patrols undetected, and came to rest above Earth. Inside, its core pulsed with waiting destruction. And then, unexpectedly, it stopped. Before activation, it vanished from the Council's tracking systems. No detonation, no fallback beacon. It simply ceased to exist within their field of vision. A minor anomaly, the Council believed. Perhaps it had been intercepted. Perhaps it malfunctioned. Either way, no retaliation followed. Earth did not broadcast outrage. No demands came. The planet, famous for its emotional volatility, responded with absolute silence. The weeks that followed unsettled the observers more than any retaliation could have. Council reconnaissance probes sent to verify Earth's response failed to report back. Long-range sensors recorded unexplained system-wide blackouts in local AI infrastructure. Signal logs were corrupted. Entire data archives flagged with digital interference. Ships that attempted to approach Earth's atmosphere encountered abrupt and unexplained navigation failures. The cause, indeterminate. Meanwhile, Earth's silence continued. Inside orbital command structures, Earth's high vector met under red light. No voices were raised. No debates echoed. The bomb was laid on the central table, disarmed, defanged, its secrets rendered transparent in less than 30 minutes. What troubled them was not the device. It was the implication. It was never meant to destroy them. It was meant to test them. Protocol Reaper Veil was unlocked. A secure file once buried under 15 independent authorization layers. It required no passwords. Just a decision. And once opened, no further debate. The file contained no strategy. Only a name. One that hadn't been spoken aloud in years. She was not a soldier. She was not on payroll. She was not listed in any known military registry. But those who had seen her work were no longer in command. Or alive. No mission briefing was given. No orders transmitted. One by one, satellite chains flickered with a single transmission. Code black, awake the asset. Somewhere beneath the Siberian frost, a sealed vault opened for the first time in 3 decades. No personnel entered. No supply teams arrived. There was nothing to prepare. The lights inside that facility had remained functional for 30 years. They never flickered. They never failed. By the time Earth's orbital grid detected the rise of the stealth corvette, no one asked who was on board. They didn't need to. It rose without escort, carrying nothing but the disarmed bomb and its passenger. As it cleared atmosphere, not a single Earthside report was filed. Not a single civilian transmission intercepted it. No public awareness existed of its departure. Because Earth wasn't retaliating. It was responding. The Council, unaware of what had been set in motion, continued business as usual. Member species debated interstellar trade tariff. Border disputes between the Ilarian and Vexate factions escalated over mining rights. But deep in the Intelligence Directorate, unease spread. The bomb had not been found. Earth hadn't flinched. Worse, data intercepts hinted that Earth had begun quarantining entire satellite zones across multiple sectors. Quietly. Without warning. Entire communication relays went dark. Independent trading vessels reported ghost signatures along standard route. Council mapping buoys malfunctioned without technical explanation. AI-controlled cargo lines initiated unscheduled rerouting protocols. The galaxy didn't know it yet, but Earth was already inside. Already watching. Whispers began. Within the military research echelon, rumors long buried surfaced. The stories varied in tone but shared one name. Not a code name. Not a title. A name whispered in fear and denial. Baba Yaga. Once called legend. Once dismissed as psychological propaganda by Earth's early opponent. She was said to appear only when humanity stopped speaking. She did not lead armies. She did not command ship. She did not negotiate. She arrived alone. And when she left, nothing remained but wreckage, sealed records, and vanished empires. The Veldari homeworld had once declared Earth a contaminant. Their planetary capital turned silent within 6 hours. Surveillance blackouts prevented recovery operations. The Council classified the incident as internal civil collapse. No one asked again. The Tulharn Armada once challenged a human exploratory fleet. 3 months later, an entire Tulharn star system lost gravitational cohesion. The cause unknown. Rumors of a black-suited figure walking the command deck with a smile were considered disinformation. But every survivor later refused to speak. Now, something similar was happening. Quiet shifts across colonies. Disappearances of fringe observers. Ships going silent without distress signals. One Council security chief put it simply in his report: "We didn't break Earth's will. We knocked." And something answered. Then came the first confirmed footage. From a deep space relay outpost near Sector 8. A silent figure, alone, wearing the Earth flag like a shroud, walking through the deck of a heavy installation, the same bomb in hand. Surveillance bots triggered standard deterrence protocol. All systems failed. The footage cut to black. No weapons were fired. No alarms sounded. When emergency response arrived, the station was untouched. Pristine. Empty. The outpost's central AI core had been left on. One file left open, a still image of a face, smiling. The same face from long-buried classified footage. Cross-reference. Match. Probability. 99.9998%. Baba Yaga. Security lockdowns across Council worlds were initiated. Civil transport rerouted. Diplomatic channels to Earth flooded with requests for clarification. None were answered. Earth issued no response. No denial. No claim. The Council watched their own systems begin to question internal access protocols. Earth wasn't just in their systems. Earth was beneath them. Around them. Within them. Theories flooded the upper echelons. Was she rogue? Did Earth unleash her or merely step aside? And more terrifyingly, was the bomb even the real message? What no one considered was that she wasn't delivering anything. She was returning it. Inside the inner ring of the Council's primary command chamber, debates fractured into panic. The bomb they sent had not only failed, it had become symbolic. Its safe return, carried like a trophy, was no act of goodwill. It was humiliation made flesh. Fleet commanders suggested immediate retaliation. Others argued for surrender. The override protocol wasn't alien. It was older. It was human. Not digital, not quantum. Analog failsafes that had no digital footprint. They called it impossible. Then they watched it happen. Security analysts tried to isolate her within containment corridors. Firewalls collapsed before they were applied. She didn't hack the systems. They let her in. Machines originally designed to repel Class 5 boarding threats simply turned off. Robotic guards lining the primary corridor stood motionless, holding weapons they no longer understood. Their threat recognition protocols were replaced by a single command: observe. The Council chamber, isolated 5 layers below the surface of the Central Authority complex, was never breached in known history. She walked through its entrance without a single authorization ping. Hallways meant to open for verified delegates opened for her. Not one alarm sounded. Delegates stood frozen, unable to process the intrusion. She placed the bomb on the polished center table and said nothing. The sound of it touching the surface echoed louder than any weapon discharge. No one moved. No one breathed. The bomb's original signature matched exactly. No tampering. No degradation. It was intact, active, but perfectly stable. She had carried it into the heart of the Empire without effort. Some thought it was a bluff, until she reached into a pouch and tossed a small cylindrical object across the floor. It landed beside the bomb with a metallic clink. A data core. Standard format, but the encryption it carried wasn't galactic. It was written in dead languages, lost to most archives, spoken by extinct races. None of the delegates recognized it, but the AI did. It froze, attempting to parse the structure. The core didn't contain data. It contained records. One display lit up involuntarily. A series of mission logs began playing on the central screen, documenting surveillance of Council worlds, internal negotiations, resource theft, undeclared strikes, and biological experimentation on outer colony species. All traced, all time-stamped, all archived by Earth. Every illegal act the Council had ever buried was now exposed, recorded by observers that no one ever saw. They had been watched for years, studied, archived, judged. Then came the final layer of the core. Video footage of vanished empires. Worlds the Council had covered up. Civilizations erased from map. Systems supposedly destroyed by natural event. Every one of them had been visited. By her. No witnesses. No weapons. Just sealed records, system silence, and occasional images of a single black-suited figure walking through flame, void, or fog. Always smiling. Council members looked away from the display. Some turned their eyes to her. But she never looked back. She never spoke. She didn't need to. The data said everything. Diplomatic protocols collapsed under their own weight. Communication officers attempted to send a cease and desist broadcast to Earth. No connection. No outbound signal functioned. The systems were still running, but they were no longer under their control. Their own communication networks had been reconfigured. No outside call could be made until she left. And no one would force her to. One of the elder delegates stood to protest. The moment his foot touched the ground, his personal AI assistant whispered a sentence into his ear that made him sit back down and never speak again. No one ever found out what it said. He resigned 3 days later and requested political asylum on a human colony. Across the galaxy, military fleets monitoring Council activity received delayed footage. Their crews sat in silence as they watched her walking through the most secure structure in the known sectors with nothing but her flag and their own bomb. No attack. No announcement. Just presence. The effect was instantaneous. Multiple allied species cut communication ties with the Council, requesting diplomatic reassessment with Earth. Systems once considered firmly under Council rule shifted to a neutral stance. Others began self-auditing their histories, fearful of what might have been recorded. Earth, without firing a shot, had shifted the entire political axis of the galaxy. Back in the chamber, she turned and walked toward the exit. Doors opened for her. Guards remained still. The bomb sat untouched, inert but present, like a curse left behind. The data core continued to flicker quietly in the center of the room. No one moved to retrieve it. The AI attempted to address her departure. It couldn't. Its systems were still online, yet no function related to her could be processed. Its programming accepted her presence, not as a threat, but as an inevitability. In the docking bay, her vessel awaited her. Not a warship, not a stealth carrier. A single-man transport, dark, silent, designed not to escape detection but to erase the concept of pursuit. No engines flared. No coordinates were input. It left as it arrived without trace. After she vanished from their systems, the Council chamber remained quiet for 30 minutes. Then, a single message appeared on the main display. No audio, no visuals, just text. This was not a warning. This was a memory. No one could trace the origin of the message, and no one could delete it. Within hours, factions within the council fractured. Internal investigations began. Security directors resigned. Former military hardliners called for emergency negotiations with Earth. But Earth said nothing. No message was returned. No transmission acknowledged. The silence deepened. Rumors spread fast. Every major species began whispering different versions of the same story. That the humans had sent someone to walk into the council's heart, return a death machine, and walk back out untouched. That Earth had studied the Empire longer than the Empire knew. That Baba Yaga wasn't an agent. She was a sentence carried out. Young officers in alien militaries began refusing orders to engage with human asset. Officers began requesting transfers away from Earth-adjacent sectors. Diplomatic envoys to Earth received no response. Some didn't return. By week's end, Earth's only official transmission was a single data stream routed through dozens of ancient subchannels, encoded in hundreds of alien dialects. It consisted of 5 words: "Do not send another gift." The council held a vote to interpret the message. Half considered it a warning. Half considered it a threat. One delegate, older than most, said it was neither. It was simply closure. On the outer rim, unaffiliated merchant fleets changed course away from council-patrolled systems and toward human-controlled trade zones. Pirate factions began posting "no human cargo" signs in their black market ports. Intelligence leaks revealed that even the most aggressive war clans of the Korak Syndicate had removed Earth from their target algorithms. There were no casualties, no explosions, no counterattack, just a woman, a flag, and a bomb that never detonated. In archives locked beneath the ruins of vanished species, similar stories existed. A presence that did not threaten, but ended. A return that didn't avenge, but reminded. In the following decades, her image would appear not in war museums, but in memory vaults. An icon without title. A shadow without echo. Baba Yaga had walked through the Galactic Empire and left no mark, except the one burned into memory. Earth didn't claim victory. Earth didn't even respond. Because Earth wasn't playing the same game. Earth was keeping score. And now the galaxy knew it.